The story begins with a mysterious spaceship ripping through the sky before crashing onto Earth. The moment its massive doors open, countless deadly aliens pour out and launch a brutal attack on humanity. Standing nearly 10 feet tall, these terrifying creatures are unlike anything the world has ever seen. From the tentacles growing out of their backs, they fire razor-sharp spikes with deadly accuracy. Their incredible speed allows them to flip heavily armored military vehicles in just seconds, while their ability to fly and sprint across the ground makes escaping almost impossible. Their thick natural armor is so powerful that rifle bullets barely leave a scratch. The only vulnerable spot on their bodies is the narrow area around their necks, but getting close enough to hit it is nearly impossible. Worse still, these monsters never fight alone. They hunt in large packs, overwhelming every city they invade and leaving nothing but destruction behind. Within only a few years, they wipe out nearly 99% of Earth's population, pushing humanity to the edge of complete extinction. With only around 500,000 survivors left, humanity makes one final, desperate decision. Using the last of their advanced technology, they build a time machine and prepare a mission unlike anything in history. Their goal is simple but incredibly risky. Travel 30 years into the past and convince the people of that era to help fight a war that hasn't happened yet. Back in the past, life is completely normal. Families are enjoying a football game, completely unaware that history is about to change forever. Without warning, the bright sky suddenly turns dark as a massive glowing portal opens directly above the stadium. A powerful wave of energy spreads through the entire arena, leaving everyone frozen in fear. Seconds later, heavily armed soldiers begin marching out of the mysterious portal. Millions of people watching the live broadcast around the world stare at their screens in complete shock. Then the team's commander steps forward and delivers an unbelievable message. She calmly explains that she and her soldiers have traveled from 30 years in the future, where Earth is being destroyed by a deadly alien invasion. Humanity is losing the war, and unless the people of this timeline help them now, the human race will disappear from Earth within a single year. The shocking announcement throws the entire world into chaos. Governments launch immediate investigations, and before long, every part of the commander's story is confirmed to be true. With no other choice left, countries across the globe begin recruiting civilians to fight in the future war. One of those recruits is a man named Chris. After receiving his draft notice, he reports to a military screening center for evaluation. As soon as he enters, he's instructed to remove his shirt before placing his hand inside a strange scanning machine. Moments later, the system displays something that leaves him speechless. According to its records, Chris will die exactly 7 years from now. The terrifying prediction sends chills down his spine. Desperate for answers, he asks how he's going to die, but the officials refuse to tell him anything. Before he can react, a sharp pain shoots through his hand. Hidden inside the machine, 3 tiny chips are implanted beneath his skin. When he finally pulls his hand back, he notices a strange device attached to his wrist. It's a highly advanced transport and communication system designed to keep every soldier connected during the dangerous mission that awaits them. Before leaving for the mission, Chris returns home to spend one last moment with his family. The instant his wife notices the device attached to his wrist, fear fills her eyes. She knows exactly what it means. The future battlefield is almost impossible to survive, and she doesn't want to lose her husband, leaving her and their 6-year-old daughter alone. But Chris has already been chosen. There is no turning back now. After promising that he'll come home safely, he says goodbye and heads to the military training camp. The mood inside the camp is anything but confident. Most of the new recruits are terrified. Some can't even bring themselves to hold a rifle, knowing they're about to fight creatures that nearly wiped out humanity. Before anyone can finish training, an emergency alert suddenly changes everything. The research laboratory in the future has come under attack, and the medicines stored there are humanity's last hope of survival. There isn't enough time to prepare the soldiers anymore. The mission can't wait. Every recruit is ordered to deploy immediately, even without proper training. The frightened soldiers gather in front of the massive time machine. As its engines power up, a glowing portal opens before them. One by one, they are pulled inside, while terrified screams echo through the chamber. Moments later, Chris also begins floating toward the portal, but something goes horribly wrong. Instead of sending the soldiers safely to the ground, the time jump malfunctions. The portal opens thousands of feet above the city. In an instant, every soldier is thrown into open air and begins falling toward the ruined world below without a parachute. Many die the moment they hit the ground. Chris survives only because he crashes straight into the swimming pool on top of a skyscraper. Even after several other soldiers land on top of above him, he somehow escapes with only minor injuries. As Chris climbs out of the water, he quickly counts the survivors. The numbers are devastating. Out of the thousands who were sent through the portal, fewer than 100 are still alive. Facing an army of unstoppable aliens with such a small force seems almost hopeless. Just then, headquarters contacts them through their wrist devices. Their objective is clear. They must reach the nearby research laboratory and recover the remaining medicine before it's destroyed. Chris is unexpectedly placed in command of the mission, but the warning that follows makes the situation even worse. They have only 10 minutes before the Air Force bombs the entire city in an attempt to eliminate the alien infestation. Knowing every second matters, Chris leads his team through the abandoned streets. Everywhere they look, the city is covered with lifeless bodies, showing just how hopeless this war has become. To protect the group from surprise attacks, 2 soldiers stay behind to watch their escape route while the rest push toward the laboratory. Inside the research facility, the silence is unsettling. Sharp alien spikes are lodged deep into the walls, and dozens of human bodies hang from the ceiling. It's obvious the creatures were here only moments ago. Realizing the danger, Chris orders everyone to spread out and search for the medicine as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, the bombers are already approaching the city. With less than 5 minutes remaining, the pressure becomes unbearable. At the last possible moment, Chris finally finds the medicine, and headquarters immediately dispatches a rescue team to extract them. But the moment they reach the entrance, their escape plan falls apart. The building is completely surrounded by aliens. Without wasting another second, Chris leads everyone toward the stairwell, hoping to find another way out. Although they found an alternate route, they're still trapped deep inside one of the most dangerous places on Earth, where every corner could hide another nightmare. As the team carefully moves through the dark hallway, one of the soldiers guarding the upper level notices something crawling across the ceiling. Chris slowly raises his flashlight. The beam reveals the horrifying truth. Several of the deadly aliens are clinging silently above them, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Gunfire erupts instantly. The deafening barrage echoes through the building, but instead of stopping the creatures, it only makes them more aggressive. The aliens rush toward the soldiers with terrifying speed. Chris keeps firing non-stop, desperately trying to slow them down. One alien charges straight through the bullets, its armored body absorbing every shot before smashing into one of the soldiers with incredible force. The impact throws Chris to the ground. Before the creature can finish him, he grabs his rifle and unloads an entire burst into its neck, forcing it to retreat. But there isn't just one. Another alien suddenly appears from the darkness. Panic spreads through the squad. Charlie completely loses control and begins firing wildly in every direction. An older soldier slams a heavy door shut, hoping to block the monster's path. The plan lasts only 2 seconds. The alien tears straight through the metal door as if it were made of paper. Realizing they can't hold their position, the entire team runs for their lives. The creature chases them relentlessly before letting out a terrifying roar that echoes throughout the building. It isn't just screaming, it's calling the others. Within seconds, more aliens emerge from every direction, closing in on the soldiers and cutting off every possible escape. The team suddenly finds itself completely surrounded, with nowhere left to run. The fighter jets are now only 3 minutes away from bombing the entire city. If Chris and his team don't escape before then, they won't just be hunted by the aliens, they'll be erased by their own side. With no time to waste, the team pushes forward, but the aliens chasing them refuse to slow down. Just when all hope seems lost, a rescue convoy finally arrives. For a brief moment, everyone believes they're saved. That hope lasts only seconds. The aliens launch a brutal attack, destroying the entire convoy almost instantly. Every rescue soldier is wiped out before they even have a chance to fight back. Watching their last chance disappear leaves the team completely devastated, but Chris refuses to give up. He keeps leading the survivors forward, firing continuously as they race through the ruined streets. Behind them, dozens of aliens move together with terrifying coordination, closing the distance with every passing second. The fighter jets are getting closer, and now every heartbeat could mean the difference between life and death. The aliens aren't just powerful, they're intelligent. As their leader lets out a deafening screech, the entire pack instantly changes formation. Some rush in from the left, while others circle around the right, trapping Chris's team in a deadly crossfire. One by one, soldiers are overwhelmed and killed. The survivors become completely surrounded, and with less than a minute left before the bombing begins, the situation seems impossible. Then one alien suddenly charges straight toward Chris. Without hesitating, Chris raises his rifle and fires with perfect accuracy. This time, every shot strikes the creature's exposed neck. The alien collapses to the ground, finally defeated. At that exact moment, the fighter jets roar across the sky. Without warning, they begin carpet bombing the city. Chris immediately orders everyone to run. The team crashes through the glass door of a nearby house and sprints toward the edge of the blast zone, desperately trying to outrun the explosions that are swallowing the city behind them. But disaster strikes once again. The heavy-set soldier suddenly falls, shattering his leg so badly that he can't move. At the same time, the surviving aliens begin closing in from behind. Chris refuses to abandon him. He knows stopping could get everyone killed, but leaving a teammate behind isn't something he can accept. Instead of running away, the entire team chooses to stay and defend their injured friend. Unfortunately, more and more aliens keep arriving. Realizing there is no other option, one of the female soldiers makes the ultimate sacrifice. She orders Chris and the remaining survivors to keep running while she stays behind with the injured soldier to hold the aliens back. With no time left to argue, the team is forced to leave. Just as they finally reach the edge of the danger zone, the fighter jets unleash another devastating wave of bombs. A massive explosion tears through the city, shaking the ground with unbelievable force and burying everything behind them beneath fire and rubble. When Chris finally opens his eyes, he finds himself lying inside a medical tent at headquarters. Somehow, he survived the nightmare. To his surprise, Charlie is alive as well. The two slowly step outside and realize they've finally reached one of humanity's remaining safe zones, but the relief doesn't last long. Chris notices the black soldier from his unit and immediately asks about the rest of the team. The answer hits harder than any alien attack. The soldier stares at Chris with anger and tells him that everyone else is dead. In his eyes, Chris is responsible for every single loss. He believes Chris should never have stopped to save the injured soldier. If they had kept moving instead of looking back, maybe the others would still be alive. Chris stands there in complete silence. For the first time since this mission began, he has no answer, and the weight of those lives begins crushing him from the inside. Suddenly, two soldiers approach and tell him that the commander wants to see him immediately. When he arrives at headquarters, the commander personally thanks him for risking his life to complete the mission and successfully recover the medicine. Without that mission, humanity's chances of survival would have become even smaller. Then something unexpected happens. One of the soldiers accidentally calls the commander by her first name, Chris. The name instantly catches Chris's attention. Confused, he asks for her full name. The truth leaves him speechless. The commander standing in front of him is actually his own daughter, the little 5-year-old girl he left behind 30 years earlier. While only a few moments have passed for Chris, decades have gone by in this future timeline, and his daughter has grown into one of humanity's strongest military leaders. The emotional reunion is overwhelming, and despite the horrors surrounding them, both father and daughter are grateful to finally meet again. But there isn't much time to celebrate. The commander explains that the creature Chris fought earlier was only a male white spike. The real threat is something far more terrifying, a massive female white spike hidden deep beneath the ground inside a gigantic underground nest. Intelligence reports reveal that scientists can create a biological weapon capable of wiping out the alien species, but only if they obtain DNA from the female alive. That makes their next mission the most important one yet. Without wasting another second, the commander boards a military helicopter along with Chris and the remaining soldiers. Their destination is a remote valley where the terrifying queen of the white spikes is hiding. Soon the helicopter hovers above the valley, and the team descends toward the underground nest. At first, everything appears to be under control. Several soldiers have already restrained the female white spike using powerful tranquilizers, making it seem as if the mission is almost over. But the soldiers have walked straight into a trap. The female white spike suddenly breaks free with unbelievable strength. Within seconds, she tears through the nearby soldiers, killing most of them before anyone can react. The peaceful operation instantly turns into complete chaos. Without hesitating, the commander grabs a rope and rappels directly into the nest to take control of the situation herself. The moment she comes face to face with the creature, she realizes the horrifying truth. The female white spike is far larger, stronger, and deadlier than any male they've encountered before. She immediately orders the remaining soldiers to secure the creature's powerful tentacles before it escapes. But before they can finish, the monster grabs one of the soldiers and drags him toward another section of the underground nest. Realizing more creatures could be hiding there, the commander gives a desperate order: burn the second nest. Flames quickly spread through the tunnels, consuming the entire chamber. The fire forces the female white spike to let out an ear-piercing scream. before retreating back toward her main nest. The soldiers seize the opportunity and launch another barrage of tranquilizers. This time, the creature finally begins to weaken. For a brief moment, it looks like the impossible mission might actually succeed, but the nightmare isn't over. Just as the commander prepares to finish sedating the creature, the female white spike suddenly lets out a deafening screech that echoes across the valley. It doesn't sound like a cry of pain. It sounds like a signal. High above the forest, flocks of birds suddenly burst into the sky, fleeing in panic as if something far worse is rapidly approaching. Ignoring the warning, the commander takes careful aim and fires at the creature's deadly tentacles. The shot saves a trapped soldier's life, but it also pushes the alien into a frenzy. Blinded by rage, the female white spike charges directly at the commander. At the last possible second, nearby soldiers pull her out of the creature's path and desperately try to force the alien into a reinforced containment cage. But the queen of the white spikes is far too powerful. No matter how hard they struggle, it becomes painfully clear that holding this monster captive will be far more difficult than anyone ever imagined. A terrifying roar suddenly echoes across the valley. Before Chris can even react, thousands of white spikes burst out of the surrounding forest and charge toward the soldiers like an unstoppable wave. Without wasting a second, Chris grabs a machine gun, slides down a rope into the battlefield, and opens fire. Bullets rain down non-stop as the aliens rush forward. Thanks to his precise aim, one of the charging white spikes drops instantly after a direct hit to its neck. Chris fights his way straight to the underground nest. There, he sees his daughter trapped in the deadly grip of the female white spike. One strike from her razor-sharp tentacles would kill the commander instantly. Without thinking twice, Chris grabs the creature's tentacles and pulls with all his strength. The sudden distraction gives the commander the opening she needs to break free. Working together, the remaining soldiers finally force the enormous alien into a reinforced steel cage. For the first time, it looks like humanity has captured the queen alive. The team above immediately begins lifting the cage toward the surface, but the battle is far from over. The moment the female white spike is captured, the rest of the swarm launches a desperate rescue attempt. White spikes leap toward the helicopter from every direction, but many are ripped apart after crashing into its spinning rotor blades. Then another horrifying scream echoes through the forest. A second swarm, thousands more white spikes, comes rushing toward them. Realizing they're about to be overwhelmed, Chris and the commander sprint toward their escape route. Before they can get far, the helicopter is swarmed by aliens. Within seconds, the aircraft spins wildly out of control before crashing in a massive explosion. The only option left is to escape on the ground. Chris rushes the commander into an armored convoy while she climbs onto the roof with a machine gun. As Chris drives through the forest at full speed, she unleashes non-stop fire behind them, holding back the relentless swarm. Somehow, against impossible odds, they survive the chase and successfully transport the captured female white spike back to headquarters. The moment they arrive, the commander wastes no time. Inside the laboratory, scientists begin extracting samples from the creature's poisonous blood. Their goal is to create an antidote capable of wiping out every white spike on Earth. If the experiment succeeds, humanity will finally have a weapon powerful enough to turn the war around. Every second inside the lab could determine the future of the human race. Later, Chris learns that he will be sent back to his own timeline the following day. The commander explains the real reason. She wants him to carry all of their research, including the completed antidote, back into the past. Even if this future is destroyed, humanity in the past will already have the knowledge needed to prepare for the invasion before it ever begins. While father and daughter continue talking, incredible news arrives. The antidote is complete. Tests show that it's almost 100% effective against the white spikes, but someone else has been paying close attention. Locked inside her cage, the female white spike realizes exactly what the humans have created. She immediately unleashes a deafening scream, sending a signal to every white spike still alive. Seconds later, warning alarms erupt throughout the entire base. The alien swarm has reached the massive defensive walls. Soldiers race toward the front lines, firing everything they have as thousands of white spikes slam into the fortress from every direction. The battlefield turns into complete chaos. Even with fighter jets providing constant air support, the endless swarm refuses to stop. Then another urgent message comes over the radio. Chris has only 10 minutes left before the time portal closes forever. Knowing there is no time to lose, Chris and the commander quickly put on protective gear. She looks directly at her father and makes him promise one thing, that no matter what happens, he'll he'll return to the past with the antidote. Chris doesn't want to leave her behind, but she knows saving the past is now more important than saving the future. At that exact moment, the white spikes finally break through the security wall. The entire base is overrun within minutes. While fighter jets continue bombing from above, the aliens keep pouring inside without slowing down. Every remaining soldier is ordered to defend the transfer tower at all costs, because if Chris reaches the portal with the antidote, humanity still has a chance. Meanwhile, several white spikes storm into the laboratory. They destroy years of research in seconds and free the female white spike. The moment she escapes, she begins hunting for Chris and the commander. She understands that if they escape with the antidote, her entire species will eventually be wiped out. The clock keeps ticking. Only 6 minutes remain. If Chris can survive just a little longer, he'll make it back to the past with humanity's greatest weapon. Everything now depends on the commander. She is determined to send her father home safely, even if it costs her own life. But fate has one final obstacle waiting. Suddenly, she and Chris come face to face with the female white spike. Before the monster notices them, both of them quickly hide behind nearby cover. Unable to find its prey, the furious creature lets out another earth-shaking scream, ordering every white spike in the base to search for them. 5 minutes remain. The commander carefully peeks around the corner. An alien is standing only a few feet away. Looking around, she realizes the horrifying truth. Dozens of white spikes are patrolling every hallway. There is no safe path left. Chris and his daughter silently exchange one final look. No words are needed. They burst from cover together and unleash a storm of bullets into the advancing aliens. White spikes collapse one after another before they even have the chance to strike. Using their perfect teamwork, they fight through the back corridors, targeting each alien's exposed neck with deadly precision. As soon as path clears, Chris and the commander sprint toward the rescue helicopter. Freedom is only a few steps away, but before they can reach it, a white spike suddenly lunges from the shadows. Its razor-sharp claw tears across the commander's stomach, sending her crashing to the ground. Furious, Chris instantly turns and unloads his rifle at the creature, but the intelligent monster quickly retreats, refusing to expose its weak spot. Fighting through unbearable pain, the commander desperately tries to pull the deadly spike from her body, knowing she doesn't have much time left. Just then, the rescue helicopter comes under attack as white spikes swarm it from every direction. Even with everything falling apart, Chris refuses to leave his daughter behind. He lifts her onto his shoulders and keeps running through the collapsing base. Then, disaster strikes. A massive cargo ship, knocked off course by the alien assault, crashes directly into the facility. The impact triggers a gigantic explosion that engulfs the entire base in fire and smoke. For a brief moment, everything around Chris falls eerily silent. As the dust settles, he looks down at his daughter. Her condition is getting worse with every passing second. She knows she isn't going to survive. Even so, she doesn't think about herself. Through tears and unbearable pain, she tells her father that no matter what happens, he must take the antidote back to the past. It's humanity's only chance to stop the white spikes before they ever conquer Earth. Chris's eyes fill with tears. He keeps begging her to come back with him, refusing to accept that this might be their final moment together. But deep down, they both know that fate has chosen a different ending. Suddenly, the female white spike appears once again. The enraged queen charges straight toward them. At that exact moment, the damaged bridge beneath their feet gives way and collapses into the darkness below. As everything falls apart, the female white spike grabs the commander's leg, dragging her over the edge. Without hesitation, Chris catches her hand. Now they hang above the abyss. The time portal is only seconds away from opening. Below them, the female white spike relentlessly climbs upward, determined to kill Chris before he can escape with the antidote. The commander realizes there is only one way to save her father. Before Chris can stop her, she slowly lets go. Together with the female white spike, she falls into the darkness below. No! Chris instinctively jumps after her, but at that exact moment, the time portal activates. Its energy pulls Chris away, transporting him back to his own timeline, while his daughter's sacrifice is left behind in the dying future. And this is where part 1 of the story ends. Now, in the story ahead, it will be revealed how Chris stops these dangerous aliens before they attack Earth. If you want to watch part 2, be sure to comment, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.